Have you ever wondered what it would take to manipulate one of the most complex and enigmatic personalities out there, the INTJ? If you're thinking about it, let me stop you right there. Manipulating an INTJ isn't just a daunting task. It might be one of the most challenging mental games you could ever attempt. But what if I told you that it's not just about effort? It's about understanding a mindset that operates on an entirely different level. In this video, we're diving deep into the psychology of the INTJ, what makes them tick, and whether or not anyone could realistically pull the strings on someone so fiercely independent. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why manipulating an INTJ is so difficult, but you'll also learn some valuable insights into how they navigate their world. But here's the kicker. There's something about the INTJ that even they might not be fully aware of, a subtle blind spot that, if exploited, could give someone an edge. Curious to find out what that is? We'll get to that, but first, let's break down what makes an INTJ so uniquely formidable. So, let's start with the basics. INTJs, often referred to as the masterminds of the Myers-Briggs personality types, are known for their strategic thinking, independence, and most notably their preference for logic over emotion. This isn't your typical personality type that can be swayed by a few sweet words or emotional appeals. Their minds are like well-oiled machines, always analyzing, always calculating. If someone were to try to manipulate an INTJ, they would first have to get through an almost impenetrable wall of logic and skepticism. INTJs are planners. They see the world as a complex puzzle where every piece has its place, and they're usually the ones holding the blueprint. Imagine trying to outsmart someone who's already 10 steps ahead of you. That's what it's like to attempt to manipulate an INTJ. They're not just thinking about your immediate actions. They're predicting your moves, understanding your motives, and preparing countermeasures before you've even finished your first sentence. But let's think about this. What kind of person would even want to try and manipulate an INTJ? Could it be someone who doesn't fully grasp the challenge they're up against? Or maybe it's someone who believes that with enough charm, they can bend even the most iron-willed person to their desires. Here's a question for you. If you had to convince an INTJ of something, how would you go about it? Think about that for a moment. The truth is, manipulation requires an understanding of not just how to play with someone's emotions, but how to subtly influence their logic. With an INTJ, this is where most people fail. INTJs value consistency, authenticity, and most of all, they respect intelligence. If you're coming at them with anything less than well-thought-out arguments, they'll see right through you. Let's put this into a real-world context. Say, for instance, you're trying to get an INTJ to support a cause you believe in, but they're skeptical. You could try an emotional appeal, but that's likely to fall flat. Instead, what works is a strategic presentation of facts, a clear explanation of how this cause aligns with their values or long-term goals. Maybe even show them how their involvement could lead to a significant, tangible impact, something they can see and measure. Another example. Imagine you're in a work environment and you want an INTJ colleague to back your project. The key here is transparency. INTJs despise deceit and will be quick to call out any inconsistencies. Lay out your plan with precision, show them the data, anticipate their questions before they ask them, and be prepared for a rigorous analysis. If they see that your plan is logical, efficient, and well thought out, they might just become your biggest advocate. But remember that blind spot I mentioned earlier? Even the most logical minds can have a weak spot, and for INTJs, it's often their deep sense of integrity and commitment to their principles. If someone were truly cunning and morally ambiguous, They might exploit this by aligning their manipulation with something the INTJ cares deeply about. It's not easy, and it's certainly not foolproof, but it's a vulnerability nonetheless. However, be warned. If the INTJ ever discovers they've been manipulated, the fallout won't be pretty. They value trust and respect above all, and once that's broken, you've not only lost their support, but you've also likely gained a powerful adversary. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever encountered an INTJ in your life? Or maybe you are one. What are your thoughts on this? Drop a comment below and share your experiences. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video insightful and share it with anyone you think might find it interesting. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on more deep dives into the fascinating world of psychology and personality types. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Manipulating an INTJ isn't just difficult. It's a mental chess game that requires patience, strategy, and an understanding of the human mind that few possess. So, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you think you can outsmart an INTJ, remember, you're not just playing against another person. You're up against someone who has likely already considered every move on the board. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.